According to Douglas Adams's The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, the skies begin to boil, nature collapses into the screaming void, the hideous fury of destruction blazes, and a small trumpet sounds as if from an infinite distance. And you see, I don't understand that, because if the trumpet's at an infinite distance, then I don't think you'll hear it. And also, it's probably a vacuum as well, and sound doesn't travel through the vacuum. Because it's
you know what, I was
nonsense.
so hopeful when we weren't going to be doing this in radio theatre that he wouldn't get distracted yet again by his evidence-based thinking, which has continually stymied this show. Anyway, 40 years on from this book, what do we actually know about the end of the universe? Tonight, we're going to look at the current ideas of how the universe is likely to end, and then, in a nod to popular culture and the current disastrous penchant for asking everyone their opinion, we're going to put it to an audience vote. How do you want the universe to end? Anyway, we are today joined by 4 quantum fluctuations who made it to sentience, and they are...
Hello, my name is Katie Mack. I'm a theoretical astrophysicist at North Carolina State University and the author of The End of Everything, Astrophysically Speaking, which comes out in August but is available for pre-order now. The thing I'd most like to achieve by the time the universe ends is to divide by 0 just once to see what happens.
My name is Brian Green, professor of physics and mathematics at Columbia University, author of a new book called Until the End of Time, sort of relevant to the topic that we're talking about here today. And the thing that I would like to know before the universe ends is whether Einstein was right when he said that there are only 2 things that might be infinite: space and human stupidity.
And with that, here's Eric Idle.
Hello, my name is Eric Idle, and I'm a writer and comedian. And the thing I'd most like to achieve by the time the universe ends is to prove that the opposite of gravity is levity.
Hi, I'm Steve Martin. I've lost any idea of what I am or what I do anymore. I did think that the universe ended in 1964 when I got my first stand-up comedy review. However, one thing I'd like to accomplish before the end of the universe is learn the trumpet.
And play it from infinity. And this...
play it from an infinite distance, which of course...
And play it be that last sound, the last sound. I also think it's going to be very warm at the end of the universe. Am I wrong,
well,
scientists?
I think, yes, completely wrong.
I think it'll be pretty darn cold.
We'll find out.
Well, anyway, what I will say now, we've had the introductions, and so that means, as usual, we say, and this is our panel. And the reason we always say, and this is our panel, is it creates a Pavlovian response in our studio audience, which, of course, doesn't exist. So what we'd like to ask all of you at home is please whoop and holler until your pet looks at you quizzically. And I would also like to very quickly say, by the way, if you see the quality of our panel, you will see one of the advantages of lockdown is no one had a good enough alibi to get out of doing this show. So we're very glad to be joined by them all. Eric, I'd like to ask you, first of all, from a quantum cosmological point of view, if you wish, how would you like the universe to end?
I like the big sneeze, because I think that's how the universe began. If you look at the Big Bang, it's like a... and there's a big fast form, which they call inflation, which I think we should call influenza, because it's very similar, and I think the big end should be like that.
In what time period was your intake of breath? Is that before the beginning, or...?
It's a metaphor, Brian. It's not literally an intake of breath, but I think if one was faced by the end of the universe, one might very well go, ah!
Eric, could you do us a favor? When you have a metaphor, just say metaphor coming.
Yes. Right,
Yes,
I'll do that.
to avoid confusion.
But I think the end of the universe is very good news, actually, because it is actually the one thing we can't possibly have to worry about. It's a long way away.
Yeah, it's of all the things to worry about, sometimes once it gets to trillions of years, I put that on the back burner of my existential anxiety. You know, Steve, what about you? Do you have, in terms of your hopes of how the universe might end, is there any favourite?
Hopes. You know, I just feel that all human life will be completely gone by the time the universe ends. We'll go first. And so I don't think, I mean, I'd like to kind of know what it is. You scientists are going to fill me in on what will actually happen. But I just figure we're here until the sun blows up or goes quiet or something. Or even if the Earth's temperatures increase by 20 degrees, then we could all be dead too. So I don't have a favorite way. I guess burning to a crisp would have to be right up there at the top.
Yeah, because initially you're kind of enjoying the smell until you realise it's you.